Jaydee. Jaydee is a brand new green lawnmower tractor which has just been offloaded at the local tractor dealer. The owner himself comes around to take off the plastic that protects the seat and then rubs Jaydee's nose. Jaydee is so proud of his new green body. His lights shine and flicker with excitement. He cannot wait for someone to buy him so he can start working. In the sales room, there are 3 other large tractors. The one is huge. It has 8 wheels and the one wheel is almost bigger than Jaydee's whole body. The other 2 tractors are a bit smaller but still huge compared to Jaydee. "Hello, Jaydee. I'm Uncle Big John," says the large tractor. "This one next to me is my son John, and that is Aunt Joan. Welcome here with us. You must prepare yourself, however, that you will be standing here for a long time, because I don't really know why they would buy a little tractor like you when there's so much work for our big tractors on the farm." Jaydee's throat tightens and his heart suddenly feels incredibly sad. He was dreaming that someone would buy him soon so he could start working. He turns his wheels away embarrassed, his eyes tearing up. "Oh no, Big John, it's not kind at all to be so full of yourself. Remember, we each have a special job and purpose, and no one is more important than the other," says Aunt Joan. Jaydee feels a bit better. There and then he decides that he will make his eyes shine brightly when someone walks into the store. Then they would certainly spot him and buy him. Every morning, the shop assistant comes to dust and polish Jaydee's body with a soft cloth. He then wiggles his wheels and makes lovely growling noises when they start his engine to keep his battery fully charged. But days later turns into weeks, and one by one the other tractors are sold. His heart aches when Aunt Joan is also sold to a farmer, and he is the only one left. Late one afternoon, the skies turn grey, and rain suddenly starts pouring down. Lightning flashes while the air explodes with heavy thunder outside. Jaydee feels terribly scared and alone that night, as it just keeps on raining and raining. Early the next morning, a couple walks into the shop. While the man is talking to the salesperson, the woman draws her hand over Jaydee's nose. It tickles and itches, and it's so much fun for him when she gets on his seat and then pretend she's going to drive him. "Chris, I think we should buy this one. With all the rain that's been falling and the summer that's on its way, there will be a lot of work for me and this little guy." Jaydee can't believe his ears. When she touches his horn, he shouts at the top of his lungs, "Yippee!" The man stands closer and looks Jaydee up and down, then kicks his wheels and says, "I think you're right, my wife. We need one like this on the farm." Jaydee is small enough to fit on Chris's pickup truck. He looks at everything along the road and is so excited to be able to drive so fast. He himself cannot drive anything faster than 10 kilometers an hour. The drive on the dirt road is less pleasant, and it feels like his blades and lights want to fall off due to the bumpy road. You won't believe it, but at the farm they drive past Uncle Big John, where he is busy preparing the fields for the planting that would soon start. Jaydee shouts at him, "Yoo-hoo! Uncle Big John, I am here too!" Uncle Big John doesn't even look up. He just drives back and forth across the field while his big engine roars loudly. As Jaydee arrives at the farmhouse, Aunt Mary immediately climbs onto Jaydee's seat. She rides back and forth across the lawn and sings a happy song. At first, Jaydee coughs and wheezes since the grass isn't quite green yet. A layer of dust and dry grass clippings get stuck on his body and makes his nose itch. A short distance away, Uncle Big John makes his engine roar every time Jaydee coughs because of all the dust. Jaydee doesn't mind at all. He is a lawnmower and he mows the lawn. Aunt Mary later drives Jaydee into the storage room and wipes him down nicely with a cloth. Then she slyly looks around, sees that no one is watching, and gives him a pick on the nose. "The two of us are going to have a good time working," she then says, while he blushes a little. Late in the afternoon, all the tractors come from the fields and are stored away in the big shed together with Jaydee. Uncle Big John takes up most of the space in the shed, and Jaydee must sleep close to the door. Uncle Big John tells the other tractors exactly how hard he had to work today because he can do the work of 2 other tractors at once. Aunt Joan, who also came to live on the farm, just shakes her head and winks at Jaydee. That night, when everyone was already sleeping, Jaydee wakes up. He hears voices and cracking sounds. The next moment, Uncle Koos comes running into the shed and shouts out orders. "The field is on fire and it's on its way to the shed. Jonah, you must grab Aunt Joan and then hook her up with a plough. Then you start ploughing the field here next to the shed. Uncle Big John is far too clumsy and slow for that. Hurry, before the whole shed catches fire and burns down." Uncle Koos himself jumps on Jaydee's back and makes his engine roar so loud that Jaydee didn't even know he could roar like that. He rushes out the door and then begins to cut the longer grass that is on the fire side of the lot that Aunt Joan is working around. He rushes back and forth. Jaydee's eyes tear up and he almost suffocates in the smoke, but Uncle Koos knows what he's doing, and in time there's a whole piece of grass that is short enough so that it will not let the fire spread. The men with their firefighters arrive later and spray the flames where Jaydee had cut the grass short. Later, after the fire is put out, while everyone is standing against the wall, tired, black and smeared, Uncle Koos says to his neighbor, "You know, Peter, if it wasn't for this little lawnmower of mine, my whole shed with Big John inside might have burned down. It just shows that such a little tractor can make an enormous difference." Aunt Joan, standing close to Jaydee, lets her engine growl softly and then she winks at Jaydee. "Didn't I tell you that we all are equally important?" After everyone is safely back in the shed, Jaydee smiles proudly to himself in the reflection of the large door. His little body is terribly dirty and full of black spots now, but he is sure Aunt Mary will come tomorrow and wash and polish his body until it's green and shiny once more. And maybe, just maybe, he will get a kiss on his nose again.